We are headed to, actually Amherst is where we're starting our adventure. So today I am meeting Connie from The Painted Photographer and we are going thrifting. So join me on my next adventure.
My day started off at around 7 o'clock. I knew it was going to take about an hour to get to Amherst. I was meeting Connie over at a restaurant called Grit and Grace. This was highly recommended by my brother and his family. They said that they love going there, so I was excited about that. But what I was really excited about was that I was going to meet up with Connie to go thrifting afterwards and get my new Maker's Box papers that Connie designed. I made it to my first destination, and here is this restaurant called Grit and Grace, you guys. If you are in the Amherst area, it is such a good restaurant. The food was outstanding and the service was amazing. After we finished breakfast, we made our way to the Plover Goodwill. I had never been here before, and I was super excited to tackle a new Goodwill and find out what goodies were waiting inside for me.
All right, let's do it. So, all right, how do you tackle the stores normally?
I normally go right straight over to those aisles.
To these?
Aisle, yeah.
Yep, me too.
The one thing I asked Connie was, how do you tackle your stores when you're out thrifting? And I start with all the hard goods first, and I just start walking down the first aisle, and I make my way down. Then I go to the soft good area, and I'm always scanning. I always look at the shelves several times, you guys, because you can glance at something, but I think in the back of your mind, you're always like, oh gosh, what am I missing? What am I missing? And I need to keep moving. And sometimes because you're scanning so much, you actually miss a lot of good items. So I go down the aisle, I look, and then I walk back and I scan again. In my membership group, we officially kicked off our 40/40 challenge. I like to do this at least once a year, and it is so fun. The members love it. How it works is you get $40 and you try to spend or buy as many items for that $40, and then we resell it. And whether you can upcycle the item, you can just buy and resell, and you have 40 days to sell as many items as possible. So for whoever the winner is, they get bragging rights. Plus, I always have a little special prize. I did buy that little shoe, and initially, you guys, I bought that mug. It ended up having a chip in it, and I was so sad. But look at this picture, you guys. I am a sucker for pottery, and this is so beautiful. I loved all the detail, and I think I might sell it right as is. You guys, when I spotted this, it caught my eye. I loved how the vintage feel of it. I love the colors. It was a really good price, and guess what? It ended up in my cart. I could not pass up that crackle goodness either. I also love wall pockets, you guys. This was so beautiful, but it felt really like cheap feeling. It felt like it was gonna chip, so I ended up passing it, but I kept touching it because I really wanted it. Now I saw these, and right away I love the colors. I love that cowgirl coral look, and they're brand new. Good price, and I thought these would be fun to have in a display at Antique Acres in one of my vignettes. I could not pass them up, so they definitely ended up in my cart. Now this, you guys, I loved the rustic feel of it. I wasn't too keen on the sunflower, but in the end I put it back because I thought it was $1.99, but it was a whole lot more than that. Now, the basket aisle, I love a basket aisle. I go and I just look at all the baskets, and I couldn't find anything in this aisle. But I did find some apples, but they were really cheap and inexpensive, like feeling. As I was scanning the shelves, this actually caught my eye. I love finding different signs, you guys. I am looking for the actual body of it, not what's on it. If it has a good bone, or if it has some good bones to it, I'm grabbing it. I found quite a few items here at the Plover Goodwill, but honestly, you guys, I thought the shelves were a little bare. I had never been here before, and maybe I'm a little bit spoiled because the Goodwills in my area, their shelves are always so full. And when I'm looking, I'm really having to scan. Sometimes it can be almost too overwhelming though, because it's so full, and I feel like I miss stuff because it is. So I'm not bashing that the item or that the shelves were a little barren. I just wished that they were a little bit more full. Now, I'm always hitting up the holiday aisle, you guys, because all year long, that's what I do, is I try to find as many holiday items for that display, which this year I'm going to set up a whole lot sooner than I did last year. But this star, I could not pass it up. Was that not the cutest? Last year, I stumbled upon a couple of these mugs, and you guys, I passed them up, and I am just kicking myself. There were 2 sets of 4 and 1 set of 3. I grabbed those, definitely. This, oh, you guys, I wanted it. It was a good price, but it felt so cheap. This caught my eye, and I could not for the life of me figure out what it exactly said on it. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's like a vintage perfume bottle, but there was some etching on it, and in every light, I was trying to figure out what that etching said. In the end, I put it back. I was scanning the shelves one last time to see if there was anything else that was good, and this is the end of my adventure here in Plover, and now we're headed over to the Stevens Point Goodwill. Here we are at the Stevens Point Goodwill, and I have been here quite a few times, you guys. When I used to do my on-the-road booth, I would actually drive through Stevens Point to head home. So I have had some good thrifting adventures in this store, found some really good items, and I hope today we find some good stuff too. So down the first aisle, there was already an accident. Cleanup on aisle 1. The poor guy, I don't know who broke it. It wasn't me, you guys, but somebody broke some glass and he was having to clean it up. And I thought about reversing and going down a different aisle, but I waited until he finished and then we continued on with our journey. Anytime I'm going down this aisle, the things that I'm looking for are just real unique pieces. But honestly, you guys, I have a thing for ironstone, and I've talked about this in the past. So I'm always looking at white pieces to see if there's any special markings. I think I glanced over probably so many of them, and because I never knew exactly what I was looking for. But I'm also looking for like glass bottles or just real unique pieces to put into any of my vignettes. You guys, these remind me of my great grandma. She had one, and no matter where I am, I always seem to pick them up, and I love like putting them in displays with several of them. They look so cute. Gravy boats are another thing, you guys. I am slightly obsessed with them, and I always end up making like a gravy boat display. pitchers. Oh, these glass pitchers, they just remind me or scream summer. I'm always pairing these with really cool glasses. Okay, here's another one. I found another one. This one, oh my gosh, it's so neat. It's really thick, and they all were only $1.99. Guess what? It ended up in my cart. Now this, oh you guys, is that not so beautiful? What a great price. I'm like, I don't know what I would do with it. I just think it's really a statement piece. So guess what? It ended up in my cart. Here's a third one, you guys. I found 3. I'm like, okay, I love pairing things in 3s. This is perfect. At first, I was like, do I need it? I put it back, and then guess what? It ended up in my cart. Now, I always look for vintage pottery. That seemed a little cheap, so I put that back, and I just continued on. I was finding such great things, you guys, here. There were just so many good items, and they had boxes full of different jars, canning jars, and I do so much with those, but they were kind of odd sizes and a weird price, so I ended up passing those by. What are some things that you guys look for at the thrift store that you can't pass up? So I'm sure if you've been following me a while, you'll know that there are certain things that I just always pick. In the comments, you guys, let me know what you always pick or won't pass up. And what is one aisle that you love going down? So I always talk about the basket aisle and how I love going down it. I am a sucker for handcrafted baskets, and this is one. So somebody handmade this. It is so beautiful, and I ended up definitely putting that in my cart. Now this, you guys, I was like, Connie was down this aisle and she didn't grab this. This is so cool. And then after we met back up, she's like, I looked at it and I thought, do I grab that? And I passed it up. So it's funny how 2 people can be at the same place, and it really, you guys, it's all in the eye of the beholder and what you can do with it, or if you think it would go with your style or your decor. And it's funny because I have had people, like I'm walking out of a Goodwill or a thrift store and I run into someone and they say to me, oh, you were in there? I shouldn't even go in. There's no good stuff left. Nope, there's a ton of good stuff left. Things that I missed, things I passed up. So don't ever feel like that. Now I saw these, you guys. Oh, they were so cool, but I didn't know what they were. And I loved that pink look to it, the florals. And I had some fabric I thought would go with it, and I tipped it upside down. I kept trying to envision what I would do with it. In the end, it was the price of them which held me back, and I did not buy them. And I'm thinking, even now as I watch this clip, what could I have done with them? Now, this is the last aisle I'm going to show you, and I'm going to leave you guys in suspense because Monday's video, I am going to do a thrift haul. I'm going to show you everything I found while I was out thrifting with Connie. We had an amazing time, and we've agreed we should do this once a month. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.